Hi, I'm Lisa, the artist behind Lachri Fine Art. It is Tuesday, so I'm here to critique one of your original paintings or drawings. If you have an original painting or drawing that you would like to submit for critique, okay, listen to this part because I keep getting questions every week. I've got like 5 new people asking me how to submit. Just go to my website, lachri.com/critiques, and all the information you need to submit is right there. I say it in every video. If you're missing it, you're just not listening. Today's submission is an acrylic painting by artist Katie Gray. Before this painting, Katie has only painted like 7 things. That's pretty awesome. While she's new to painting, she is not new to drawing. She's been drawing for a very long time. So now this painting, the angle, the perspective here, you did a really good job because this is not an easy perspective to draw. So very nice work there. So taking a look at some things that we can do to improve on this even more. First, it's not finished. And I know what you're thinking, I finished it, it's done. No, it's really not. You're only about, I'd say maybe a quarter of the way done. You're calling this finished too soon. This is a really good underpainting. So you're doing great, you're just not done yet. And by underpainting, what I mean is you've essentially blocked in where everything's going to go. Now you just need to go back through and focus on your values, your highlights, your shadows, details. All of that is missing right now. It's not wrong, it's just not finished. And I love this submission because it's something that we see so often with artists. I think we get to a point where we just really don't know how to improve on it. What would make it better? And what you need to do is sit down, look at your reference photo, put it side by side. I like to load it into Photoshop and I can really see side by side my painting versus Photoshop. What's different about the two? When you can put them side by side, it's so much easier to see what the differences are and where you need to improve. If we put these two side by side, look at just the difference of the values, the colors here. Now, yes, your colors are different. That's not really what my issue is. My issue here is that the values are so far off. If we look at your reference photo, look at how many different shades, how many different values you've got between the lighter colors and the darker colors. When we look at yours right next to it, they're all almost exactly the same. There's no shading, there's no depth, so you don't have that 3-dimensional look that you're gonna want. And you said you were going for realism, so this is a really big deal. And everyone likes to get hung up on the color. What color do I use for skin? Doesn't matter, it's your values. Pay attention to your values. I mean, the skin color matters some, but not nearly as much as the values do. This is what you really want to focus on. Where are your highlights? Where are your shadows? That is just so important when doing portraits, or really any painting. Next, let's look at your background. The background is too close in color to the baby's skin, and so the baby is just being lost completely. When I see this piece, all I see is green dress, like a lot of green. The colors there's no harmony here between everything. You want to balance out your skin with your background, with the dress. Everything needs to work better together. Now, this isn't so much an issue of adjusting the color of the baby's skin. I think the background just doesn't work with this. If you change that background to a lighter color, a darker color, something that you're gonna have more contrast with, it's going to make the baby pop out that much more. I would also tone down the dress that she's wearing. The green is so bright. Now, I know that you wanted to make the color different, but it's so dark compared to everything else in the piece that's where your attention is being drawn to. Now next, this moves us on to the bow on her head. You've outlined it in a dark green, and 2 things are going on here. First, we really don't want to outline stuff. You can have dark shadows, heavier lines, but not all the way around. You don't want to outline things, not if you're going for the realism that you said you were. Everything is going to be varying shades and shadows. Some of those lines will be a little bit harsher, but not completely outlined. The second thing is on your outline, you've got a whole bunch of little brush strokes, little teeny ones, and what's probably happening here is that you used a paintbrush with teeny tiny bristles thinking that's going to get you more detail. The thing is, those teeny tiny bristles, 2 things happens with those brushes. One, the paint builds up down at the base of the bristles, and so what happens is after a couple of uses, you're never going to get that all the way clean. The bristles start doing this instead of being close together, so it makes getting that detail nearly impossible. You're not getting the tiny lines that you're going for. The second thing is, when those bristles are really short like that, you can't load very much paint on it, so that's what's making you have to make little brush stroke, reload the brush, little brush stroke, reload the brush, little brush stroke. So here, and I've got a video showing you how to use a liner brush, but use the long bristles. Not that you can really see that on this, but you want the really long, at least 1 inch long, preferably longer. But you want the longer bristles, and that is going to let you get more paint in your brush, so when you do longer lines, you can have a whole nice long smooth line instead of little teeny sketchy lines that makes it look fluffy. My last tip is going back to the finer details. You don't have any on here. Everything is it's locked in. It's an underpainting. It's a decent underpainting. It's just not finished. Now your outline isn't exact. While your drawing is good, especially for this perspective, I would take a little bit more time and make sure that you capture the lines right. Like her mouth is open more than it should be. There's some things that are just not quite drawn right. So pay attention to those details. But those details, again, go back to making things look more realistic. Just spend more time on the painting and you will have the realism you're going for in no time. But really good job, especially being that you've only done a handful of paintings so far. Really nice work. Keep it up. Thanks for watching. If you're new to my channel, I have new video critiques every Tuesday where I'm critiquing your original paintings or drawings, my own speed paintings, drawings, and tutorials every Wednesday, art Q&A videos every Thursday, and artist vlogs each weekend. So if you haven't already, I would love for you to subscribe so you don't miss out on anything. And you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+. All of those social media sites are linked below in the video description where you can keep up with the news, my newest work, and see real-time clips of whatever it is I'm currently working on. I'll see you guys tomorrow.